What's up, pro wrestling fans? It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for another Squared Circle Speaks on AEW. This is for the week of, July 29th through August 3rd. Three shows of AEW this week. We got some news, we got some contract situations, and we got some rumors and hearsay to get through. But we're gonna kick it off like we always do with this AEW review and talking about Dynamite. It's Dynamite. Uh, yeah, Dynamite live from Greenville, South Carolina.
Yeah, this was a pretty crazy Dynamite.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. You had some random matches thrown in there like they always kind of do, and but not a lot of matches, so it kind of made it pretty quick. The first match on the show was Lance Archer and Will Ospreay. Uh, Again, I'm not 100% sure why this is happening. I guess it's just to try to build Will Ospreay up as he
Yeah,
gets ready to face MJF, I guess.
Lance Archer is definitely just an enhancement talent. He only comes in every once in a while, and
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, he's in his 40s now, so you know, no real need to try to push the guy. And it just sucks because when he first came into AEW, we thought he was going to be something, and turns out he wasn't. But
Yeah.
Will Ospreay gets the win here.
I mean, Archer looked good here. He did a lot of stuff. Ospreay took a hell of a beating in this match. It was kind of like it was mostly dominated by Lance Archer. Ospreay got the advantage in the end and then hit the hidden blade twice to get the win, which I didn't really like.
Right.
He hit the running blade, like, it's like that's the same move, and then he hit it again. It's like, yeah, just hit one hidden blade and get it over with. After the match, MJF comes out, starts beating him up, hits him with the brain buster. He's gonna hit him with the dynamite diamond ring again, but then Kyle Fletcher is out to make the save. Don Callis is out wondering why. And Fletcher says, look, Ospreay's his brother, and I'm gonna protect him. And then uh Fletcher says he wants to fight MJF, and then MJF walks away. So then we had the CMLL World Championship, Women's World Championship Eliminator, Chris Statlander versus Will Nightingale. And usually when these matches happen, the champion wins. Usually these eliminator matches usually don't amount to much. Usually it's like, just a way to get the champion win, but that did not happen here. Chris Statlander gets the win over Will Nightingale. So that means Chris Statlander will get a CMLL Women's World Championship match at some point. Why all this is happening on an AEW show, I'm not sure. But there we go,
Well,
too many
I mean,
championships the way it is, and then we're gonna add in CMLL championships all the time now too. So
yeah, but at least it's continuing their
yeah,
storyline, even not AEW titles, but it's continuing their storyline. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it's going to end, though. I don't know if Willow's just going to end up beating her or what.
yeah. It was a pretty good match. These two usually put on good matches with each other. After the match, Statlander just beat her up with a chair, and then beat up security. So, we'll see where this leads. I'm assuming, yeah, Will Nightingale's finally going to get her win over Statlander again and end this feud at some point. Daniel Bryan came out, and basically Daniel Bryan talked about everything going on and his career. Swerve comes out, and they kind of go back and forth. And Danielson says, you know what? If he doesn't win the AEW World Championship, he will never wrestle again. All in, it's title versus career. What do you think
Yeah,
of
how
this?
you feel
What do you
about
think of
that?
adding that stipulation to this match?
I don't know, man. What does that mean? Like, does that mean? I just can't imagine. I mean, I know he's got to be toward, and they said that his deal was up and he didn't re-sign.
Yeah, he said his contract was up tomorrow. So like the after this show, like his deal was up. So he's basically just on a handshake deal right now, I guess.
Yeah, so
Do you have him win and retire as champion, or do you just have him go out losing and just retire? I guess. I mean, or does that just mean he's going to go back to WWE?
I don't know. I think
I think
honestly, I when you put a stipulation like that on there, it's like, man,
it really sways you with your how you think the match is going to go because it's like,
yeah. I mean, you would think he would win it at least once,
ah,
but if he didn't sign a new deal, if that's true,
why
then
would
what? You go with a handshake deal from there on, or what?
and then you're gonna just I mean, I know it's Daniel Bryan, but like you're gonna just give him the title and then what?
Yeah, but
Trust him
is
to
that
give it back? Trust him to
like,
show up? Like,
yeah, but see that like the thing about that is like, is that really how you want uh
swerve,
uh
lose?
Swerve's reign to end?
Yeah, because then you know it's probably just gonna have a tournament.
And Swerve, you figured it was going to come down to him and Hangman again at some point.
Yeah,
So I think Brian loses here. I think
I
he's
really
going
do.
to.
I think he's done. I think he realizes his body's given up. And he's got two kids he wants to be at home with. I think he's done. He'll still do stuff in wrestling, whether it be a trainer or be an agent or something. But I think he's probably gonna. I think this is gonna be done. I think it's gonna be his last match. So
Could be interesting.
could be crazy. But you never know. It's AEW. They had Sting win in his last match when
Yeah,
everyone thought they should have had him lose, and he wanted to lose. So Tony Khan sometimes, let these guys get their moment. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Roosh, the Beast Mortos, and Roderick Strong took on the Conglomeration. Conglomeration take on one of these people every week. It seems like Roderick
yes.
Strong has been feuding with this group for the last 3 months, I think.
So the
Uh,
kingdom is basically done.
I guess because yeah, I mean they that's the thing. Like they wrestled the Kingdom on not that long ago on like Rampage or some shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with that group. They don't really explain it anymore. They're just all kind of doing their own thing, I guess. But Roderick Strong, Roosh, and Mortos win, which really threw me off
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that either.
because and Roosh pinned the ROH champion Jay Briscoe, which again did not expect. But maybe
Yeah.
Roosh is going to get a title shot, I guess.
I mean, they need to give Roosh something.
Yeah,
I
maybe
mean,
Roosh or Mortos or somebody. It's
yeah.
like, why would they have them pin the champion if they're not going to have a title match? So that was weird. I didn't expect that. I kind of figured the Conglomeration were going to win again. They've won like every match of this thing. So
Yeah.
maybe this was, I mean, he's leaving at some point. So I don't know when he's leaving. He hasn't done really anything since showing up. So just done 6-man tags every single match. Uh, the Acclaim come out and then they just talk about FTR. Uh, I guess I guess they both won a title shot. It's the thing there. So, then we had Camille, her in-ring debut. She took on some chick named Brittany. And Camille beat her. Eh, squash
Yeah.
match.
Monet's just laughing in the background. And
Yeah.
this is just another Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels, fucking, you know, it's just
Yep.
another one of those things.
Yep.
I
And
just,
Camille will eventually turn on her. Like we already know where this is heading. So
yeah.
it's another MJF uh Wardlow situation. So like we know where this is heading.
Yeah, we know how that worked out for Wardlow.
Yeah. And then your main event was Darby Allin and Hangman Page. This was holy sh- there was a moment. Goddamn. He had a fall away slam like in the corner of the steel steps. Jesus Christ, dude. Like,
I don't know how Darby Allin's still walking.
yeah, I don't know, man. The spots he takes every single match is insane. Uh, but this one ended up with Darby Allin getting the win. Uh, He rolled him up. Page was like beating his ass. Uh, he was gonna hit the buckshot. Darby collapsed, so Page picked him up. Went for a power bomb. Darby rolled through and pinned Hangman to get the win. So Darby took a beating in this match, but still got the win. If you remember, Darby is going to get a title shot at All In for the TNT Championship. So,
Right, but he also has a shot at
but he
the
also
world.
has a shot at Grand Slam for the World Championship.
Yeah,
So does he win the TNT title? And that's where I don't know. Like, are they going to have him win the TNT title and then also win the world title, or is he going to lose? Or is it going to just be world champion versus TNT champion?
yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
All right. So Rampage was also from Greenville, South Carolina, taped on the same show. Butcher took on We Were Utah, and We Were Utah made him tap. No thoughts. Brian Cage beat somebody. Again, no thoughts. Nyla Rose beat Harley Cameron. Cameron got a little bit of offense in, but this was, a Nyla Rose squash match, essentially. Brian Keith beat some guy. Another squash match. We're rolling on this show. And then the MXM collection took on Private Party, and Nathan Private Party lose again. They are legitimately just enhancement talent now.
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, I don't know what happened.
Like the Acclaimed are like a better team. Like I don't understand. Like in MXM collection, like they were a comedy group in WWE. Like they were not serious at all with this same gimmick in WWE, but now they're going to be like getting a push here. They're
Yeah,
fine, but not as this model gimmick. I don't understand why they want to keep doing this mid gimmick.
I know. I don't understand it. I figured they'd come in and do something different.
Yeah, but they get the win here. So MXM get the win. This match was all right, but Private Party are basically just enhancement talent at this point. MXM Collection come in and get their first win in AEW. No real stars on this show. And they wonder why no one watches Rampage. I mean, you put it on when you put it on a 10 o'clock on a Friday, and then this is what you put on the show.
Right.
It's just, like you're not expecting anything when that's the kind of show you put on. So let's see if Collision was any better. From the Esports Stadium in Arlington, Texas, Christian kicked off the show with the Patriarchy. Malachi Black and his running mate come back, and Buddy Matthews is back. He shows up. The Patriarchy try to run away, but the Bang Bang Gang show up, and Nick Wayne gets his head kicked in by all of them.
Interesting.
For Nick Wayne, Christian just kind of left Nick Wayne. He got a kick by Black, a knee by Matthews, and a cannonball by Brody. And then the House of Black and Bang Bang Gang kind of looked at each other and kind of got into a little stare down. So the AEW Trios division is something. I mean, at least they're trying. They got a little bit of stuff going on here. So the first match of the night was the Premier Athletes versus Hologram and Mystico. So now,
boy.
legitimately, they have teamed the new Sin Cara up with the old Sin Cara. So
Yeah.
we're just, hey, this is legitimately just on the nose now.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Hologram and Mystico get the win. I mean, this was fine. It was all right, but I just don't like the hologram thing, man. I just don't.
I don't either. I don't either. I don't know why we're doing this in 2024.
Yeah, like it's a superhero, whatever. Like, I still don't get what he is and what he's supposed to be. Tony Storm came out, had an interview, or had a match. We don't even know who her opponent was. Mariah Bay is on commentary, but she did a funny. She gets on commentary and she grabs a mic and she goes to Tony Schiavone. She goes, "Can I speak now, bitch?" Which was Great. Storm came out, ran for the commentary table. Her and May get into a big brawl. They keep brawling. Whoever Storm was wrestling got behind, attacked Storm. We don't know her name at all. Tony hits a German suplex, running hip tag, hits Storm Zero, and it's over. So the match itself lasted about a minute, but the stuff before the match was cool with Tony and Mariah getting into it a little bit. This match is going to be insane when it comes to All In because I think you never know, man. I think it's Mariah May's moment, so hopefully they put her over, but I think that match could be pretty good.
Right.
Kyle Fletcher took on Brian Cage. I guess it was because, Kyle Fletcher basically turned his back on Team Callis, so he stuck Cage on him, and then Kyle Fletcher gets the win. It was only 8 minutes, and there was a commercial break in the middle of it, which kind of took me out of it because it's only an 8-minute match anyway, and then you got this break right in the middle. But it was a decent little match. But Fletcher ducked the clothesline and hit a tombstone to get the win.
Yeah, how do you feel about him getting the win here?
I guess they're pushing him. I don't know. I guess because his partner's out, so they're doing something with him. I'm not the biggest Kyle Fletcher fan, but he looked decent here. I assume he's going to wrestle MJF before MJF wrestles Ospreay. I would say that's going to be like a match on Dynamite or something. And then he basically called him out and said, "Hey, MJF said, look, I'll give you an eliminator match this Wednesday on Dynamite. If you win, then you get a shot at the title the next week. So we are going to have that match, and we'll see if he can get the win. I don't think so, but then we had a match that because AEW likes to have their special names for their matches that mean nothing. We had Continental Collision, Nathan. We had Claudio Castagnoli, Tomohiro Ishii, and Lee Moriarty in a triple threat match. Why? Why not?
Why does Ishii keep getting put in these international matches where it's a bunch of I don't understand. This is like at least the third time they've done this in the last month and a half.
Yeah. Claudio gets the win. This was fine. It's a triple threat. It was high. It was all over the place. Ishii, being Ishii was slow. But other than that, it was a fine match. Thunder Rosa took on Taya Valkyrie. Thunder Rosa gets the win. That wasn't much here. It was, after the match, Thunder Rosa calls out Deonna Purrazzo for a Texas bull rope match, and Deonna accepts. I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but we're going to have another match between them and another probably on Collision next week. And then your main event, Mark Briscoe, Darby Allin, and FTR versus the Beast Mortos and the Undisputed Kingdom.
I swear it's the same people on all these shows.
8-man tag. I love 8-man tags.
I'm pretty sure you just said this almost the exact same match on Rampage.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they just subbed out a couple people with other people, but Mark Briscoe, Darby Allin, and FTR get the win. It was Darby Allin picking up the victory. Yeah. Dax grabs the mic and he says, "I love pro wrestling. I love AEW." Because the Acclaimed come out and he says everyone loves the Acclaimed. The scoreboard reads Acclaimed 1, FTR 0, nut up or shut up, and then they start brawling. Who the fuck are the heels and the pro faces in that feud?
Apparently, it's just two faces, but
I guess they're fighting like they both want to be number one contender. They both want to knock off the Young Bucks. So it's like, but it's like the way they're doing it makes it's like it's like FTR is like they're making it feel like FTR don't want to wrestle them, and that's weird to do. Like, it's weird to do it that way because they weren't there on Dynamite. So it's like It made it feel like they were ducking home, and I don't know if that's what they're trying to do, but it feels that way. So,
Yeah, it does.
ah, interesting stuff here. We had a lot of news come out over the weekend. That I don't think I don't think we got to talk about most of this stuff last. Did we talk about Shane McMahon last week?
I think so.
Okay, I wasn't sure if we had mentioned if that came out before we did the show or not. Um,
Pretty sure we talked about it because basically, if we didn't, a photo came out of Tony Khan and Shane McMahon talking. I don't know if it's going to amount to anything
well, the reason I brought it up is Shane McMahon did make a statement. Uh, he made a statement to Bully Ray.
of all people.
Bully Ray. What the like? Anyway, he said Tony and I were connected through a mutual friend, and we had a great meeting. We talked about many things, but mostly about our shared love for the business and the rewards and challenges of working with family. I congratulated him on the 5-year anniversary of AEW and look forward to how he evolves the business moving forward. Uh, I brought that up because he said meeting, and if it was just a hangout, I don't think he would have used the word meeting. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So I think there may be more to that than what was originally. I don't know. Yeah, I think we did talk about it, but weird. Also in contract news, it is apparently pretty much confirmed at this point. The Lucha Brothers are going to leave. And a lot of people are assuming that they're just heading to WWE. So,
I mean, if they're going to do it, they might as well do it now while, I mean, they don't have a lot of mileage on them. I mean, I know they wrestle in Mexico too, but AEW doesn't use them all the time. And those
yeah.
Mexican matches in AAA, they don't. I mean, yeah, they do a lot of high risk stuff, but they don't they're not like hour long bangers or nothing.
Well, and the Mexican style is so loose. Like it's not as hard, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like it's not as hard hitting as other styles. So
yeah,
wrestlers in Mexico wrestle till they're like 70 years old.
I know.
So,
So I mean, if you're gonna do it, now's the time. I mean, Pentagon or Penta, he's 41, I think. So
yeah.
and Ray Phoenix, he's in his upper 30s. So if you're gonna do it now. Try it. It might not work. It might work. I think if you bring them in, you don't put them in NXT.
I think it's the same. Like if the Motor City Machine Guns come in, like yeah, I think both these teams need to just go straight to the main roster.
Yeah, there's no sense in putting them in NXT.
Yeah. For clarification, Penta is 39 and Phoenix is 33.
Okay.
So Phoenix, relatively young. Uh, but again, this is 2024. Wrestlers are wrestling older, and they did have wrestled probably since they're like 15. But it's
Mm-hmm.
Mexico, and Mexico don't put a lot of they don't put a lot of like hurt on you wrestling in Mexico. The style is more loose and laid back there. That that's why people are like Ultimo Guerrero is still wrestling, and he's like 60. Like
Right.
so they could be in WWE for a while. I mean, just because they're 39 and 33, they could still be there maybe 10 years, you know? Maybe not
Yeah.
10, but they got a good little decent run. And yeah, I think I'm with you there. Like they need to go to main roster. There's if they go to NXT, it's just a waste of time.
Right.
And I guess we need to talk about the elephant in the room. Um, we don't have so we're gonna talk about this. This is all it. Britt Baker has been suspended. Now, that has been confirmed. The only thing we don't know is exactly what happened. There have been multiple stories coming out. There's been multiple clarifications to this story. We're not 100% sure who did what, and what did what, but apparently the story that I know or I have heard is that Britt Baker was in the locker room and she was apparently making fun of or are complaining about MJF and Osprey going an hour, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I guess his girlfriend, Alicia Toot, was in the locker room and went and told MJF about it. So then, where originally was said that he went into the women's locker room, now apparently that has been debunked. Again, we don't know for sure if this is true or not, but apparently he knocked on the door, asked to talk to her, and then they had a discussion argument in like just the backstage area. And apparently MJF did punch a wall due to like the frustration or whatever. The thing I don't understand is if this happened, right? And why was it just Britt Baker that was suspended? I mean, I know MJF's on TV and he said she's a champion, but if they had an argument in a backstage, you had Brawl Out like 2 years ago. You had at All In last year. You had the CM Punk Jack Perry thing. You cannot be having this shit happen again. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have got to get some sort of hold on this backstage. This feels like high school. Like,
it really does.
A girl was talking about a boyfriend, so the girlfriend runs and tells the boyfriend. And I have not seen anyone like talk. Why is Alicia to not receive more backlash for this?
Yeah, no crap.
She's the reason any of this happened. Like, I don't get how she's new. She just showed up. And then you're going to go and run and tell because she's complaining about just, and I'm kind of on her side, Britt Baker's side with, not with everything, but like that match didn't need to go an hour. And you took valuable time away from the Britt Baker Mercedes Moné story that needed to be built up more before they go to the pay-per-view.
Right.
So I kind of understand her frustration. She just came back and then she doesn't get to do much because they had an hour of show, an hour of match. So
and she's only going to be suspended a week or something. Like,
she's apparently supposed to be. She'll probably be back on TV this week, so it's not that big.
It did take her. Like you said, they, that hour-long match that they had did take away time for her to, get that storyline going, and then now she's suspended for a week, so that's 2 weeks.
Yeah,
they didn't get to build to that match. And, that's going to leave a bad taste in her mouth. And I know she's wrapped up for a while, and so is Adam Cole. But I'd say when their contracts are up, they're out.
Oh, no, I wonder how long Britt Baker's got because she was one of the originals.
Yeah, but she probably re-signed, man, because her contract's probably already up.
I would say she had to re-sign. Unless she signed like a 5-year deal at the beginning, which would put her contract up this next year.
Yeah, but
or this year. I think I saw a while ago that she did sign a contract extension, but no one knows for sure for how long. So,
but I mean, I'm just saying because it's going to leave a bad taste in her mouth because she was one of the originals, just like MJF, but now she's getting overlooked. She gets suspended for just talking or whatever.
Yeah, like she didn't do anything. If anything, Alicia should have had some sort of, and MJF should have at least had and they said apparently backstage that people were feeling bad for Britt because they felt like she didn't really do anything to warrant getting suspended. Like, just because she can't criticize what's going on.
Yeah, so that to me, that's going to leave a bad taste. And yeah, I think those two will be out of there when their contracts are up. So
yeah,
Tony Khan's got to quit doing that kind of stuff. He's got to quit playing favorites. If you play favorites, that leaves you with you're going to divide the locker room. And then when these people are gone, it's going to, leave you with the people that you picked as your favorites. And what if they leave too?
Yeah.
Like, just because you picked them as your favorites, don't mean they're going to have loyalty towards you.
It's just, it feels like we have a story coming out about AEW's Backstage like once a month. And you don't, and I'm not saying this doesn't happen in WWE because I'm assuming it's a locker room. People are going to get upset. I'm sure stuff like this may happen in WWE locker rooms. You just don't hear about it.
Yeah.
Because they take care of it internally and they settle it. Tony Khan has no control over this locker room.
Mm-mm.
He has no idea how to be a boss and how to just they've got to figure something out over here. This stuff's just going to keep happening because they're all running their own, they're all booking their own stuff, and they're all going to get upset with each other over stuff like this all the time. It's going
Yeah.
to happen. And they eventually are going to have to figure something out because these stories are not going to end. They're going to continue. Everyone's looking to, it feels like AEW's locker room feels like the Attitude Era locker room, where it's like every man for themselves. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're all just trying to, and
Well,
WWE feels more like everyone's like on the same page.
and the reason that is because there's no bookers. You know what I mean? Like, there's
Yeah.
nobody helping them to write. The wrestlers have to come up with their own shit, and then they have to hope that their shit gets when they give it to Tony Khan that he likes it and lets them do it. And so it is like the Attitude Era. Everybody's coming up with their own stuff. They're trying to get over any way they can. It's like a dog eat dog locker room back there
Yeah.
because there's only so much time. Tony Khan's only going to push so many people at a time. He's shown that. So yeah, he's created that environment.
Yep. And that's why you got people like Ricky Starks and stuff going off on Twitter because they're not being used. And, you're going to have this happen all the time. You're going to have tensions high. And you see a guy going out like, and I'm sure Britt Baker wasn't the only one upset about that match going an hour.
Yeah.
You have 2 hours of TV that night, and one match takes up an entire hour. Yeah, I'd be upset too. That means you get 5 minutes for your segment, 10 minutes. So I don't know. Again, we don't know all the details. We probably never will. It'll be like the CM Punk situation where we're not going to know officially whatever actually happened with everything. At least there was not an actual fight this time.
Yeah.
But again, AEW's locker room has got to figure. They have got to get some bookers. They've got to get somebody in charge of that locker room and just set everybody down and be like, look, we got to be on the same page here. We got to start looking out for each other because it just feels like the WWE locker room. And I don't know, I'm not there, but it feels like from the stories you hear, like everyone's just rooting for each other. And they just want everybody to succeed. And AEW feels like they're all trying. It's like the Attitude Era. And that's not good because the Attitude Era locker room was a terrible place from all reports. Like, it was terrible to be in that locker room back then if you weren't one of the big names. So,
Yeah.
I think that might wrap it up, though. It ended on kind of somber news there. We'll bring us down a little bit. But, yeah, I think that's going to wrap up AEW this week. Just a weird week for AEW.
Yeah. After having a couple good weeks.
Yeah. The shows this week were not good. Like,
No.
I not a lot of star power. Like, the Elite haven't been on a show this week. Like, it's just not a lot happening in any of these shows. So, weird. It's a weird week.
Yeah. So if you like this review or recap of AEW television, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when we upload more of these recap and reviews. Hopefully next time we won't ramble as long as we did. Uh but if you see you on the next one.
All right, and we've got some fun stuff coming up later this week. We are going to be doing title history for a very title that's been around for a while. And we're also going to be taking another roll call of champions around the lower levels of the wrestling world, the independent scene. So we got all that coming up to you later this week. We'll see you in the next one.